What is up, guys? Welcome back to Frugal BC live stream. We are looking at crypto news in general, Algorand news, Hedera news, H bar, near anything we can find. We love crypto here. So, welcome back to the show. Going live. We've got a great show for you today. Lots of interesting stuff going on in the Algorand space. Some drama as usual, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and about some of the doom and gloom that's been going on in Algorand. And yeah, we got lots of good stuff for you today. We are going to, of course, we're going to look at the coin market cap. We're going to look at the price of Algorand and all the other crypto. We're going to look at the ASA charts, see what's going on there, and do a little DeFi Llama chart comparisons. And then for news items, Logan Paul still hasn't compensated anyone for the Cryptozoo scam, even though he told CoffeeZilla he'd do that 2 months ago. And it looks like we're live on Kick, by the way, as well as YouTube, just to point that out. So welcome to all my Kick people. Let's see if we get anybody viewing there. I'm going to pull up this one too. That's live. Well, two videos going on here. Anyway, will Polygon 2.0 be a game changer? We are going to look at that. And Algorand One Touch Node goes live. We're going to hear a little bit from John Woods on that. Not the best quality video, but you get the point. But speaking of John Woods, we are going to cover the space today between John Woods and Kraken. And I wish I could say it was a Kraken debate, but it was actually quite the opposite. An entire half hour spent on a tweet about whether there's 10,000 projects on AlgoKit that are being built on AlgoKit or not. We're gonna make it a lot quicker than a half an hour for you. I'll tell you that much. But very interesting how that turned out. And in sad news, Pidgey has been laid off from the Algorand Foundation. There's rumors that a number of people have. I haven't found anything to confirm that, but Pidgey, the head of gaming and a very good guy, I met him at Decipher, is not at Algorand Foundation anymore, which is really sad. And then we're going to look at a tweet about Algorand's supposedly high giant staffing costs, and a little rebuttal from John Woods there too. He's going to make it a lot in today's live stream. We should have put him on the title maybe. And we're also going to break down this partnership with DWF. Some smell trouble with it. We'll see what that has to do, but some other ones have a different perspective on it. And some good Hedera news. Hedera revenue surging nearly 500%. Huge surge. We're going to dig into that one. All right. Well, hopefully everyone is doing well out there. Hope you're all doing well. Make sure at any point in the live stream today, you can leave comments and questions, and we will take a break and respond to them. So be sure to leave stuff there. And everyone who's watching on Kick. Oh, we got a couple viewers on Kick. Welcome to Kick. Make sure I'll be monitoring the Kick chat as well. So if you guys have any questions, anything you want to know, be sure to leave it in there. Pat Hardery is in the house. What's up? He says, "Sup, Frugal BC." What is up, Pat? Yeah, I hope you're doing well too, my friend. Very interested. Just before the live stream, I was listening to this space with John Woods, and it's pretty wild. I wonder if I can change the title. The problem is when you stream it from here, it doesn't let you change the title, which might actually help people find it. Oh, wait, maybe I can over here. So if you guys will just bear with me. There and other crypto news. I can't put tags in it. Okay. Oh no, well, let me save. Right. Apparently I can't change that, but thanks for sticking around while I do that. Yeah, like at any time, make sure that if you have questions that you want me to answer on the show, or just comments in general, leave them in the chat. I will answer. And Kick, folks, that goes for you too if you're into crypto. Again, really wish I could change the name of the live stream so I could actually have it maybe be searchable. It's kind of crazy that people are actually watching me. because it just says my stream. Actually, it says my first stream. Technically, it's my second, which is really Kick needs to work on. They need to kick up their game a little bit and get some of these features going. Some real basic stuff. Anyway, guys, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. I really appreciate it. Like I say, you don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. Would really hope to have followers on Frugal BC on the Kick channel as well. So if you want to leave a comment on Kick, I'd really appreciate that. And super chats on YouTube, always appreciated. Always helps the channel. Again, if you can't swing it, then that's fine. I don't mind. But if you can, feel free. I don't know if you can do anything like that on Kick, but maybe you can. By the way, links down below if you're interested in getting cool merch like this hat. You will definitely look cooler than I will, I promise you. Links down below. We got hats and all kinds of goodies, and as well as links down below for crypto deals. Get a good deal for Lofty AI real estate investment, other stuff, and other valuable links, and they also help support the channel. Well, I think we can start with the prices here. Kind of a quiet day. I'm sure a lot of people are going up north. Well, that's what we do here. Probably going on vacation. I know it's a vacation day, but they'll see some of the replays too. I usually post clips. All right, let's see what the market is doing today. I actually didn't even check today. Yeah, Bitcoin popping up again a little bit now. It's sitting 3% up on the day, up to 31,000. You haven't seen that in a while, I think. Ethereum close to under 2,000. That's up 5%. EMB up 4%. We're kind of seeing 4 to 5%. Litecoin on a crazy tear, 23%. That is crazy. Solana on a pretty big tear as well on the week. Polygon looking good finally. Polygon's been coming back. Actually, just bought some Polygon not that long ago when it was really depressed. And suddenly Bitcoin Cash has been all over the place. Very interesting. That's almost 30% on the week. So it's really interesting because we're seeing a lot of divergence in the charts. Usually they kind of follow similar patterns, and we've seen a lot of stuff just do odd things. Unisud Leo is down. This seems to be the contra one. It always seems to be up when everything else is down, vice versa. Yeah, Cosmos up 8%, Chainlink 9% on the week. This is all really good stuff. Uniswap around 3.4. Stellar is doing stellar at 14%. Ethereum Classic 8%. Look at Filecoin 20%. Hedera kind of sitting even, which is maybe a little concerning. It's not doing as well as the other coins. I'm a big fan of Hedera. Just a little surprised, but still at number 33 in market cap, which is a pretty big jump. Now, Near is actually down 2%. So a lot of my bets are not doing so well. Aave Stacks, Algorand at 44, down 1.46 on the week, but it's up 3.5% on the day. Did Hedera move up on the day? Near didn't. No, Hedera's just kind of held even. So good news for Algorand. It had been at 45 a couple days ago, so nice to see it moving up a place and just nipping on the heels of Maker, but also has Pax Dollar nipping on its heels. So a small drop in price would put it back to 45. That's that. Maybe we should look at why don't we just go right to Vestige? Pardon me a second. Oh, KuCoin took a dip. Let's see. So chips right now is flying high. And that really has been on a tear with DeFi token down on the week. Opulus kind of holding steady for the most part, up a little bit on the week. KuCoin up on the week, but took almost a 13% dip on the day. Very volatile coin right now. And Vestige up, Voidcoin up, Kita Inu down, Bank down, Yieldly down, and Darmanet taking a real bath there. That's a pretty big dip from what it looks like. So very interesting, especially must be a couple days old. Interesting. But yeah, so far Chips, DeFi, and Opulus, and I'm just thinking like not that long ago how different this looked when you didn't have Chips, DeFi, and Opulus at the top like that. You had there were Yieldly was at the top, and then Cosmic Gold was often at the top. Cosmic ain't even on the top 10 anymore. Really interesting. By the way, someone asked if I was down on Cosmic, and I said no, not really. I just can't. I haven't been able to play it since launch because they don't support iPhone, and I've heard they had trouble with the App Store, but Fractal Monsters is able to get their app into the App Store, so I think Cosmic should probably figure that out as well. But it is what it is. Pat asks if I'm buying any algo at these prices. I've bought a little bit, but honestly, I'm buying a lot of other stuff because I've been trying to build those bags to kind of balance things out. So I'm, for the most part, done buying algo for a little bit. I think I bought, no, I was using existing algo. I might have to buy some more algo if I expand my experiments, which I haven't decided yet. Okay, well, that's the charts. Let's get into this first story because it's pretty easy to dig up here. You don't want to know how many tabs I got open. I'm just kidding. It's kind of an ongoing joke for those that don't know. So, a few of you guys may remember that CoffeeZilla about 6 months ago did a video on Logan Paul and how he had started this Cryptozoo crypto project. And it was supposed to be a game where people can earn money. People put thousands of dollars buying these NFTs, and then the game just never happened. And Logan Paul never seemed that concerned about it. Didn't really bring it up until CoffeeZilla made a video. And then first he attacked him. So he went after CoffeeZilla, said they were going to sue him, blah, blah, blah. Well, then eventually realized he was probably on the wrong side. So he changed his tune and said, thank you, CoffeeZilla. He made a video, got 334,000 views, and saying that he was going to pay back some of the people that lost money. And he was going to put, I think 1.8 million, he said, something like that he was going to put into paying people back who didn't want to make the game. He also said he was going to actually make the game. Clearly that didn't happen. And then So CoffeeZilla had been asking him, "Hey, can you? It's been 5 months, and we haven't seen anything. Nobody in the Discord is hearing from you. There's no platform up to pay people back, and looks like Logan Paul blocked him." So in the video, he points out that here's what he says here. He says Logan Paul really is the type of dude to thank you when you expose his scam, then block you when you remind him to pay up. By the way, Zach XBT, who we've covered here, he has a lot of cool on-chain stuff. Says apparently he was also blocked by Logan Paul. Kind of makes sense. So, if you guys wonder why one of the reasons I've been more down on Web3 gaming is because I don't like the fact that it basically puts users in a position to invest money and spend a lot of money, whether you think about it as an investment or not. In a sense, it's still an investment. You're investing, even if you don't expect a return on it. If you're investing, you expect a return of fun. Like you buy, it's kind of like when you pre-order a game, you're investing in the game being good. And when this happens, stuff like this happens, it's like you're putting this money in and then you're just getting hosed. The game never happens. I would rather see where they create a product. I would actually like to see a ban on pre-selling NFTs. I don't think you need to do it. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think you need to do it. I think it'd be perfectly fine if you made your game, get some backing, or bootstrap it. Do what you got to do. Start a Kickstarter if you really got to do it. Start a Kickstarter. At least have people pay you and say you'll get the game, there's no returns, and then you can buy NFTs when the game is live. They're not going to do that because the incentives aren't there. I just had a video about Gala Games, and you can see the whole video there. But the main point is like this has been Gala's model is like sell these really 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 expensive NFTs for a game that we'll get to eventually. And I just have a problem with that. I don't think it's good for consumers. I mean, the whole point of this, right, is like these NFTs are supposed to be immutable, so they can't ever take them away from you. It's like, yeah, but they can still nerf them. They can make it completely useless in the game. We saw that with Townstar. Or they'll just make it. They'll either nerf it, or we don't accept this one anymore. I mean, there's really nothing that it really doesn't give you any advantages except that you can turn around and sell it. But if they make it useless in the game, you're not going to be able to sell it anyway. So anyway, good for CoffeeZilla for sticking with that one. I like that. 1,000 tabs. No, just 998 tabs, Pat. Pat, are you buying algo at these prices? If you care to share, I'll ask you while I set up the next. Set up the next thing here. So it says I have 2 viewers on excuse me, on Kick, but it said that I don't know if that's like total, like people tuned in and then left. But if you're watching on Kick, leave a comment just so I know you're there. Yeah, I won't. If you don't want me to acknowledge you, I don't have to do that or whatever. But it'd be cool too. I always think it's fun when you comment, and once in a while I'll tune into Miss Teen Crypto on here on her live stream just to say hi, and she'll have a pretty small audience, so I can actually she'll notice it was kind of cool. But okay, so Polygon 2.0 is coming or out. Let me see here. Yeah, Polygon 2.0 is coming. We are going to dig into Polygon 2.0 and see what that is doing. Could this be a game changer? Small batches, Pat says. Yeah, that's a good idea. Most of my stuff is small batches, to be honest. Today, we are excited to propose the Polygon 2.0 architecture designed to provide unlimited scalability and unified liquidity, thus transforming Polygon into the value layer of the internet. We'll see. Will it be as fast as Algorand? I don't know. Polygon 2.0 architecture consists of 4 protocol layers, each enabling an important process within the network: staking layer, interop layer, execution layer, proving layer. What are these layers and what is their role? Let's dive in. The staking layer is a proof of stake based protocol which leverages Polygon's native token to provide out of the box decentralization to participating Polygon chains. It achieves that via a common, highly decentralized validator pool and an inbuilt restaking model. This allows Polygon chains to focus on their use cases and communities rather than infrastructure. To validators, it offers rewards in Polygon tokens, as well as an opportunity for additional revenue streams via collecting transaction fees, rewards from chains they validate. That sounds kind of interesting. I wonder how you become one of those. The interop layer facilitates cross-chain messaging within the ecosystem. It abstracts the complexity of cross-chain transactions. It makes the whole Polygon network still feel like a single chain by enabling shared access to native Ethereum assets, seamless composability. It's based on, blah, 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 blah. The execution layer enables any Polygon chain to produce sequence batches of transactions, aka blocks. It has multiple components commonly observed in most blockchain networks: P2P, consensus, database, syncing, meme pool, etc. This protocol layer is pretty commoditized, i.e., used in similar format by most blockchain networks, yet relatively complex to implement. For this reason, existing performant implementations should be reused to the maximum extent possible. So it sounds a little bit like they're trying to make it a bit more like Hedera, and that having that separate layer for consensus. or at least like trying to compete with it maybe. Then they really get into the nuts and bolts here. In the coming days and weeks, we'll be sharing deep dives into individual protocol layers. As always, we invite the community to review this proposal and upcoming deep dives and provide feedback. Let's make Polygon 2.0 happen. So Kim here says Polygon 2.0 now competing with Layer 0, XLR, Router, and others. Well, they're all competing, of course. Unified liquidity and interoperability across games, chains equals endgame. Just trying to see if there's anything else. So that's really interesting. I'm a big fan of Polygon. I have. It's definitely one of my 8 coins to hold for the bull market in that portfolio. And this is good, positive news for that. This is what you want to see. You want to see innovations. I'm honestly not smart enough to know if that's a great idea or not. It sounds good. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. The way they have these layers separated make the chain more efficient. So it sounds like a good idea, but I'm not an engineer, so I don't know. But I didn't see a lot of FUD around it. So let's hope for the best, huh? Good for Polygon. Polygon, yeah, I think it's a good hold, and I was definitely buying. I bought when it was at some of its lowest, so hopefully this is good news. Might be why it's pumping a bit with that announcement. All right, let's see what is next. Oh yeah, Algorand One Touch Nodes goes live. So I have John Woods. I had John Woods on the show. What was that, a couple months ago now? And we had a really great talk. Not as much better than the talk that just happened today. We're going to cover that for sure. But yeah, we had a great talk. Asked him a lot of tough questions. I think got a lot of good answers. He's a really fun guy to talk to. He knows his stuff. He's worked for Cardano and Ethereum as well as coming to. It's almost been a year that he's been with Algorand. But yeah, really interesting stuff. So one of the things we talked about was One Touch nodes, as well as AlgoKit. Both of those went live this year. Those are very positive developments. So it's nice to see some good news in the Algorand space. Let's see what he has to say about the One Touch nodes. I'm sorry, OneClick nodes.
John Woods here, the CTO at the Algorand Foundation. So I wanted to come to you live today to celebrate the launch of our OneClick nodes. It's so easy. I think I'll start a node right now. And I just did. So OneClick nodes are going to be a revelation. Something I want to explain though is that OneClick nodes in their first release are going to be an MVP, or a minimal viable product. And this is getting it out on time in Q2. Now yes, it's the 30th of June. So we're barely scraping through Q2, and I think probably in some countries it's not even Q2 anymore, but it is here in Europe. So we're releasing OneClick nodes today. And in fact, I even have Alessandro, who has been the lead on this project, standing by to release them. Let's release it together right now. Now, in a couple of moments, OneClick nodes are going to be with you. So, before that happens, I wanted to walk through a couple of things to talk about nodes in general, just to give people a bit more clarity. So, one, I want to say thanks to Alessandro for killing himself on this thing. He's been super cool. And two, thanks to the folks at the Inc. under Gary's team and under Anne's team who've helped us, especially around the containerization of the core node. So, you will probably be aware that source code tree. And so on GitHub, we have Go Algorand. That's what it's called. This Go Algorand code is the code for the node. It turns out this code is polymorphic. I just got a note from Alessandro to say it's now being released. So it turns out this code is polymorphic. And what this means is that the code that the folks at the Inc. have written is able to be compiled to run 2 types of node. Really 3, but we'll focus on the 2 that are important for today. One is a participation node, and the second is a relay node. What OneClick nodes lets you do is easily run a participation node. And that's important, and we're going to come back to it in a minute. I also wanted to quickly clear up some misconceptions around relay nodes. Relay nodes are the nodes that transport the data around the network. Participation nodes currently don't talk directly to each other. Instead, they talk directly to the relays, and the relays relay the data like a ring road around the entire network. Sometimes Algorand has some criticism pointed at it, saying that although the participation nodes can be run by anyone, the relay nodes can't really. You've got to be permissioned by the foundation. And whilst it's true that the discovery of the core relay nodes is controlled by the foundation, in fact, anyone is allowed to run a relay node. You could start one right now, and indeed you could point a participation node at it and it would work perfectly. We're going to be moving away over time, away from relays and to a more interconnected, decentralized, peer-to-peer gossip whisper style network between participation nodes. But that's more, that's something that's going to come in the future and something I'll explore at a later stage. Today though, excitedly, and even though I'm doing a live demo, the node is happily syncing away up there.
Yeah, so that's really good news. Nice to see. I'm looking forward to trying it out. I was poking around a little bit while he was talking to see if I could find where I could do a one-click node, and I didn't see it. I just want to see. I didn't want to interrupt the video while that was going on, but I wanted to see if he actually... Yeah, right now there's still a lot of stuff you have to do, so it's not... it's not 100% one-click node. You still need to install Docker and Python. So you have to wait. You have to wait a little bit before you do that, but it's coming. Yeah. So basically, a version of one-click node is out, but not so simple where you literally push a button and it goes. But according to them, that is coming. So let's keep an eye on it. But hey, good news, they got it shipped. That's awesome. Yeah, setting up a one. Pat says a good next video topic: setting up a one-click node. Yeah, once it gets to the point where, and I actually have, I have Python. Do you have to run something out of an IDE? I looked at their overview. I was looking on the developer portal, and I don't see anything that looks simple enough that I can do it. But yeah, once it actually gets easy, I can do it, then I will do a video on it for sure. So I hope you guys aren't sick of John Woods yet, because I followed the stream today, a Twitter Spaces between John Woods and Kraken on Twitter. Now, Kraken has been someone on Twitter who's very critical of the foundation of Algorand, and I really wanted to hear what they had to say. I was hoping he would ask. I really appreciate when people ask tough questions. Unfortunately, this was not that. There weren't the questions, and he really stuck to... So John Woods at one point on June 8th had tweeted that the Algorand, there were 10,000 projects being developed on AlgoKit, or nearly 10,000. And so Kraken asked him about this. I'm going to pull up the space to kind of show you what this was all about, because honestly, it was... I was like, okay, fine. This is kind of a warm-up thing, and then we'll get to the real meat. That is not what happened. Let me find the spot here. Okay, here we go. This will give you... we're not going to play the whole thing because you really don't want to listen to the whole thing. I'm just going to show you an example. This is kind of where things kicked off.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks again for coming on today. My name's Chris. I go by Kraken online sometimes. I've built projects on Algorand in the past. I still think Algorand has the best technology of any blockchain, and I think it has a great community of people. And so what I wanted to discuss today is, on June 8th, you tweeted just under 10,000 projects being developed with AlgoKit since launch. And I'd really like today to discuss that tweet. Would you agree to have a discussion about that today?
Yeah, of course. I can jump straight into that. So, here's what I just... Sorry, after you, I'll let you finish.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Feel free to say some stuff.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so Here's what I say about that. By the way, I can completely stand over that tweet, but and I'll tell you why in a sec. I'm happy to take follow-up questions, but let's get it straight. I'm the CTO at the foundation. I came in. We built developer tools with AlgoKit that have totally changed the developer experience. And there's tens of thousands of lines of code written. They cost a lot of money to build. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of developer hours have gone into this. And so I'm proud of what they've achieved. I'm proud of what's been achieved in terms of AlgoKit. And of course, I want to get the message out there. This is a good thing. And I think of all the claims made by blockchains around the world, I try to hold myself, as people know, to a high intellectually honest standard. And so when I'm speaking, and I speak on podcasts all the time, I speak on shows all the time on YouTube and live, etc. And when I do that, I try to always be intellectually honest. I can't stand protocols that make shit up and lie through their teeth. And there's a ton of them that do that. And so even just professionally, I like to be able to stand over the things I say. And so when I said just under 10,000 projects, started with AlgoKit or built with AlgoKit, we don't have detailed telemetry built into AlgoKit because we don't want to be able to snoop on what you're doing, because I think privacy is really important. But what we do have is that when you use AlgoKit, like Truffle on Ethereum, to initialize a project, right? So you type in the command line AlgoKit init, that instantiates a new project locally on your machine. And during that instantiation, we have a single call out to GitHub to a file that's part of the JavaScript, sorry, not the JavaScript, but the utility framework within AlgoKit. And this file is pulled from GitHub at the point of instantiation of a new project. And so we've seen about 9,820 or something like that instantiations of a project using AlgoKit where this file was pulled. Of course, it's possible that file could be pulled in other circumstances, but it has no relevance on its own. And so that number is, I would say, within a kind of 5 to 10% tolerance of correct.
Yeah, so that seemed like a pretty reasonable explanation. Like, okay, so generally speaking, we know this because the kit has been downloaded 10,000. The kit file has been downloaded 10,000 times, and generally there's no reason to download it unless you're starting a project. So ipso facto, there may be some fluctuation there where someone downloads it 2 or 3 times for whatever reason, but that's what he's reporting. There's under 10,000 projects going on AlgoKit. And he says later on, by the way, that these might be, some of these might be smaller ones. They're not all huge, big projects. Some are just, some might be just a little tiny itty bitty project that someone's doing for fun, right? Not all of these are going to be giant, big projects, but that's the number. He stuck with it. He revises it later on to maybe about 9,000. But yeah, apparently that wasn't good enough for Kraken, and he asked a bunch of questions. I'm just going to show you kind of what it devolved to. I'm not going to make you sit through the whole thing like I had to, because it was just mind-numbing. Let's try and get.
But the reason we made this call is so that we could have an idea of how many projects were started with it.
Right. So when I asked Loden, your employee, what was like the methodology for actually getting this 10K number, or just under 10K.
Sure.
He was saying it's looking at those downloads from package managers, and then he specified that it was actually counting the downloads of the utils libraries, both on npm and PyPy. Does that sound accurate to you?
I thought it was the number of times the file was pulled from GitHub, but probably he's right. He's deeper into the weeds than I am.
Okay, cool. So was he was probably more involved in writing that script to pull those metrics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So also I was curious, so what's the scope of AlgoKit utils? Is it meant for production code, testing, or both?
I don't know. I think it's meant for, I think the utils are utility functions and helpers that you would use when you're writing your smart contracts, but I don't know.
Okay. I noticed the Algorand DevRails team Teal script repository uses AlgoKit utils for.
Yeah. So it's basically it goes on like this, right? I cut it right into the middle, but this is it just goes on and on and on. It's unbelievable. So finally, and I was getting frustrated listening to this because I was kind of like, dude, can you just get to the point? And finally, John does as well. So I'm going to show you this next.
Say it depends greatly on the project, on the engineering team, on the scope of the work. It's really, I don't think anyone's ever sat down. It's like asking how many commits does a code repo have, right? It's kind of the same question.
Yeah, totally. And I'm not trying to ask anyone to estimate like the number of times it would run, but I'm trying to.
It's kind of what you're saying, right? You're asking me to like in a courtroom style. You're asking me, Mr. Woods, would it be fair to say that a CI/CD pipeline might run hundreds, if not thousands, of times in the lifetime of a project?
Well, I guess I am kind of asking that, like, but I'm not trying to ask you.
Can I ask you? Can I get to something that's a bit juicier? Why do you care? Like, why would you want to make such a big deal about this? Are you not excited about the fact that we've developed developer tools that have thousands of downloads that people are using, that projects have been started? Is that not a good thing? I mean, why are you so down on this? Why don't you go ask, one of the other cryptocurrency projects, but all the wild claims they make? This is such a mute thing. It's such a nothing. I'm out there excited about the number of projects that have started with our app, with our developer tools that we've built. I'm the CTO of a company who's there less than a year, just excited to see the work that was done actually used. And my guy tells me it's been used about 9,800 times, and I tweeted, "What, in the name of God, is wrong with you, dude?
Well,
what is wrong with you? You are this kind of hyper focus on nothing. It's so annoying. You understand the people that you're talking to all day are like human beings? The people who you abuse in the foundation are human beings? I seen your tweet that you put out where you were talking about the day I joined and where Cardano was and the market cap of Algorand now and how it's moved down the ranks. I've spent 10 to 12 hours a day for a year working on things to make this thing better. I've been on hundreds of podcasts. What have you done, dude?"
Well, right now I'm trying to ask you questions about a tweet, and you agreed to talk about it, but it sounds like, can we still talk about it?
Yeah, sure, but you see, it's not about, you're focused on the wrong stuff, man.
I share his I share John's frustration. I mean, listen, I come from a journalism background. I believe in asking people tough questions, but finally it's like, dude, get to the point. Get to the point. Stop asking. I mean, I just don't get, it seems like such a minor thing to focus on when there's so many things that, have real implications. The whole bike charity thing I thought was just crazy. I mean, that was I don't think the Algorand Foundation was in a place to be making these donations to other nonprofits when they need to get their stuff together. They need to get their stuff working. They need to grow the ecosystem. What John's talking about here, he's actually excited about growing the ecosystem. So, basically he says at some point, he says, look, it may have been a little overestimated. It's probably around 9,000. He clarified that, these aren't all big major projects. It might be just someone tinkering around, starting a project in their basement that never comes to anything. Okay, fine, whatever. But what a weird thing to focus on. So I fully agree with John here. And again, that comes from somebody that says we should be holding people to account. I'm going to argue with someone against the other position in a minute here. We'll get to that. But it's just really strange. It's really strange, and I don't understand it. I don't understand the attitude. In my opinion, John's been one of the good ones. He actually responds to you when you talk to him. He seems to be putting in good effort and good work. He came on our show. He's went on BitBoy Crypto's show. He's probably doing more for marketing than anybody at Algorand Foundation. And, so to bring him on and just grill him, I mean, it's okay to ask him. I fully get, hey, ask him, say, hey, what was up with this? Do you really have 10,000? Here's a reason why maybe it's not 10,000. Put the evidence out there. And I get the Socratic method thing that he's doing here, but it's it's just dragging it on and on for no reason. So kudos to John for putting up with it, I guess, and staying patient for the most part. Yeah, like Pat says, what in the name of God is wrong with you? Yeah, he's like usually a pretty cool cucumber, and that is one. That's probably the first time I've ever seen him lose his cool, but I kind of can't blame him. I mean, it's fine. Again, I don't think that we shouldn't hold people to account. You're going to see that later on. We're going to talk about that because I'm going to argue against somebody who thinks you never should hold anybody to account, and we'll get to that. But yeah, very strange, very strange. Well, good on you, John, for going on the live stream. I didn't hear how it ends. I don't know if he like walks off or. I stopped about 6 minutes shy because I had what I needed, I think, for the live stream. But let's move on. Yeah, it would be interesting, Pat. You're right. It would be interesting to see the trend line showing the downloads per week, month. Yeah, I think that would be really great. And of course, the end results are really what matter because like you're going to get all these people starting just like I could go down one. I don't know. But here's the thing. There's a barrier because it's not like people can just go download it if they don't understand GitHub. So that means you're a developer in the first place. That's a pretty narrow set. So anyway. Yeah, Pat says, what the heck is Algo's CMO doing? I was just thinking we're going to cover that in a minute. So save that thought. Save that thought because that is coming. Okay. Thanks for being game, John. Thanks for help. Sorry, that was the... I think he's one of the best people at Algorand, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. So speaking of not so good news, and this will be a short one. Maybe I'll just make a short out of this. So I don't know if you guys know who Pidgey is. He was unfortunately the head of Algorand Gaming's division, which apparently doesn't exist. We'll talk about that in a second. I met him at Decipher. He was super cool to everybody. He was one of the most outreaching people. He was in the spaces. He came in the Algo fam chat. Not that many people from the foundation did that. He did. And the reason that everyone had a booth and had presence at the foundation is because of him. So this is how they thanked him for that. I don't think he's bitter. But this is Pidgey Pal. He says, Dear Algo fam, this is my last week at the Algorand Foundation. This is last Friday. I want to thank all the people I met and worked with. It's been an amazing journey. I will still be involved in the ecosystem, be an active part of this awesome community. If Algorand wins, crypto wins. And you can see it says previous head of gaming at the Gaming Foundation. He does talk about it. Fractal Monster says, I think I said it. I have one in here somewhere. Yeah, we're lucky to have him. Yomo says, I feel about your brother. Always feel free to reach out. Someone said they missed him. Kevin V said they missed him. We'll miss him. D40 asks, does this mean gaming is done? PG says, no, there are many great games and builders that are working their butts off. I'm sure will make Algorand shine. Gaming will now be a part of the greater ecosystem team at Algorand Foundation and not a standalone vertical anymore. I don't know. I think gaming is big enough that it makes sense to have a head of foundation, but there may be some cost-cutting measures. I was going to cover some stuff on layoffs. I had heard that there were layoffs in the Algorand Foundation. Have not confirmed that anywhere, so I don't want to put that out there. Someone had put a tweet together in fact, I have that here, so before I speak about it, I might as well get it out there. And you probably saw this person when I was scrolling through. It said, according to the former foundation employees, nope. Latest transparency reports removed the staff cost line item, making employee compensation more nebulous. In past transparency reports, the average annual spend seems to be about $40 million in staffing costs for about 60 employees, which is roughly $600,000 a person, which is a lot. That's a lot. This number may change due to recent layoffs, but I haven't heard anything about about salary cuts. We don't hear much at all. But I have to point out, And I'll just take a second for this to load up. John Wood says this is something. He had also tweeted that Stacy and the people she hired since she took over the CEO role. This is apparently a chat he had with an Algorand Foundation person. Said they only have 3 years before they're vested, where other people take 4 to 5. And according to that, she pays her friends she has hired 2 times what the people who are here prior are paid and never get raises. John Wood says this is patently false. However, he doesn't elaborate on that I can see. So we'll have to leave that as a maybe. I'm not sure. But interesting stuff nonetheless. We'll close some tabs here. Pat says sounds like not enough profits to justify the continued investment in gaming at this time. Yeah. Well, it seems like more like a staff consolidation. You know what I mean? Because I think those projects will still be eligible for grants like other people are. So one thing that happened recently, Algorand partnered with DWF. It'll take me just a little while to set this up. Or is it DFW? It is DFW. Well, I guess I'll have to start with this one. We'll go like this. Oh, here it is. Sorry, that took longer than I did. So apparently, DWF Labs, which is a global multi-staged Web3 investment firm, I don't know what the multi-stage part means, has announced a partnership with Algorand Foundation to support the health and growth of the ecosystem built on the Algorand Foundation. Now, some people have speculated this is a capital investment that is needed to keep the foundation and Algorand afloat. I don't know if that's true or not, but they are allocating funds to support projects that are built on the Algorand Foundation in DeFi, art, gaming, music, oracles and bridges, and infrastructure. So putting some money in, maybe the foundation doesn't have that money to put in. We will see, but let's dive in a little further. Before I get to this, I want to say that I've had some skepticism around Opal and its founder Lee Parsons. Some people ask some questions about, hey, where's these artist royalties that are supposed to be coming out? And Seawill is one of the people who questioned him about that, and he got very mad and insulted Seawill. Seawill's a friend of the channel, very cool guy. Met him at Decipher as well last year, and I gotta stand up for my fellow YouTubers when stuff like that happens. I thought those were reasonable questions to ask. So just to point that out before we get to this. So take it maybe with a little bit of grain of salt. But here's what Lee had to say about DFW. He said, Opal turned down a $10 million deal with DFW. I can't fathom why anyone would take this money, and we're genuinely angry with this situation. I'd like to talk about why we refused this deal, address people's frustrations with Foundation and Algorand Foundation, and why Opal will be on other chains. That's interesting. Opal's a big project on Algorand. I may have had my misgivings of it at different times, but to have that project leave is a pretty big deal. So the deal is not an investment. The contract was full of red flags. The tokens were sent straight to an exchange and dumped on the market whenever they like. That's 50 million algo dumped at an all-time low. The investment is money from Russia diverted through Korea. There are multiple red flags here, and on a personal level, I'm not assisting people getting money out of Russia in the current environment. Signing a deal like this in a bear market shows Algorand Foundation haven't managed their finance and do not care about the community. Algo just did a similar deal with 3AC, who then in turn dumped all the tokens instantly. It does make me nervous because the 3AC thing turned out to be a pretty big disaster. So that makes me a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie. I'm tired of watching Algo dump tokens to fund high salaries. Here's another, excuse me a second. Another comment about the high salaries. At Opal, we have the salaries coming into the bear market, and I personally am not taking a salary right now. In our grant application, Algo Foundation told us to sell tokens to fund operations which did not end well. Very interesting. Opal does the most transactions on Algo. There's nothing in it for me to be critical of Algorand. I'm speaking because I care about the Algo community. I got abused for calling out Yieldly. Well, he was right on that. I'm sure that will happen again, but look how that one ended. Opal will be on various chains this year. Whether Algorand continues to be one of those remains to be seen. This is a great explanation on why no one should have taken this money and why I spoke up. Let's look at what DWF. Before we do that, yeah. So that's some pretty chilling stuff, right? That's a little bit. How much did they put in? Yeah, I don't know how much did they talk about the prices. The first component of the partnership involves a $50 million Algo token purchase agreement. That accordingly is to provide liquidity to the Algorand ecosystem. Now, Lee's claim is Mr. Parsons' claim is that is going to go, they're just going to dump that, which he says that's what 3AC did as well. I don't know, but we know that 3AC was not on the up and up. So that's a little worrying. Yeah, very, very troubling allegations from Lee Parsons. Also troubling that Opal, because Lee, like you said, Opulus, the token was like near the top of the prestige charts, and they do a lot of business on Algorand. So to see them leave could be pretty troubling for the ecosystem. But let's see what this other fellow has to say about DWD Labs. Who the heck is DWF Labs? In the last couple of months, they have been everywhere, throwing ridiculous checks at everyone from legit projects to dead ones. I dug a bit into on-chain data and other resources, and it doesn't look good. Am I following this guy? I ought to be following him. I'll follow. Why not? On this screenshot are some of the transactions that I found on-chain. There's much more. Trying to see if there's anything Vulcan Forged is on there. That's one of my coins for the bull market. Interesting. Let's see how that goes. On this screenshot are some of the transactions. Oh yeah, we read that already. Almost in every case, the number of tokens in, stables out, matches by time and dollar amount, meaning these are not loans, hence not standard deals, market maker deals. 65 million confirmed. The pattern for all their deals is they either buy in many transactions of 50 to 1,000 stables once a day or so, or in larger transactions of up to 5 million per transactions. The second leg is always the same, though. They deposit it all or almost all on centralized exchanges. DWF is active in the Korean market. Some Korean projects voluntarily disclose new investments on Zangle. 11 projects disclosed since November, most of without the dollar amount. DWF invested $5 million into a $6 million market cap APM. By disclosure doesn't match on-chain data. $5 million into a $6 million market cap project. Very interesting. There are also some deals that they reported, but I couldn't match them on-chain. Many of them are high-profile deals. The weird thing about those is that in many cases, no on-chain activity would correspond to anything close to reported sizes, which is not the case for others. Fetch AI is on that list. There's a lot I'm just simply not familiar with. Toncoin I am. I don't know what that Binance one is. Most of these I just simply haven't heard of. I've heard of Fetch AI, though. Don't know a lot about it. 65 million confirmed on chain, and greater than 150 million is reported. Lots of stuff on top of that is not reported. If you start digging, you'll see a bunch of other tokens with the same patterns go through their wallets. We're talking hundreds of millions here, mostly in the last 6 months. What's going on here? The firm literally no one knew 6 months ago, investing greater than $200 million. I think it's 2 times larger than the last Defiance fund, in only liquid tokens and deposits most of it on exchanges. CoinDesk writes puff piece. I guess one explanation is that they sell tokens on behalf of teams for not less than blank X and send money up front, pocketing delta. Many deals have 10 to 20% discounts, but some have none. But then still, why is it being sold as strategic partnership and investments? Regarding post-investment price action, tokens have generally underperformed. Well, let's see what happens there. The last 4 tokens on this list, SSV, SNX, Time, Floki, have lost between 10% and 40% since the first DWF's transactions on exchanges. Sorry for the charts, can't do any better. Some are down 90%. Now, just to be clear, we are in a bear market, so I mean they're going to fall no matter what. So I'm going to put that in maybe territory. But a lot of stuff has been pumping up, so we'll see. Maybe that's not good for my PYR though. Now, who is the official face of DWF? Andrei Grachev. He is saying DWF is a TradFi market maker since 2016, and they've made hundreds of millions doing that. LOL, he says. He's been publicly accused of running various crypto scams since 2018. They include ICOs that raised money and never launched. Now we're getting into the meat here. Portfolio management, which led to 100% losses and his ties to OneCoin, a $4 billion crypto Ponzi. He was photographed speaking at their Moscow meetups, and as CEO of Huobi Russia at the time, hoped to exclusively listed on Huobi. I don't know about that. I guess it's an exchange there. It's all been public for years, and the biggest crypto media reporting in Russian language, Forklog, even published a few articles exposing all this back in 2019. If you don't speak Russian, use Translate. He says, I would be happy if I am missing something, and there's a reasonable explanation for that. But for now, it all looks extremely sketchy. That's who the foundation is now doing business with. So that sounds fantastic, doesn't that? I just wish they would do a little more vetting, a little more research. And, if it turns out all this is nonsense, then, put that out there and say, hey, this is what we found. I know you probably see some bad stuff about there. But we termed it's not true, and actually this is a great investment. I'd like to see the foundation actually do that, but I don't think they will. Pat Hardery says, sketchy indeed. I agree. So I want to bring you to, we're going to kind of close things out here a little bit. And I'm going to close by playing some Fractal Monsters, I think, if I can get it running. We'll do that for the end. If you guys want to keep watching that, that's cool. A crypto trainer has kind of a rebuttal, so we're going to take a look at that rebuttal and see what he has to say here. Now, he has some thoughts on the recent FUD surrounding Algorand. He says, unfortunate truth is that most of the Algo fam are a bunch of whiny babies that joined crypto in late 2021 and have little context for how a business, and specifically software, actually work. Well, I actually do know how businesses work. And most businesses, if they had a burn rate like the Algorand Foundation does, and saw the tiny money that actually is brought in by Algorand transactions, they realize that it's probably a losing business, but we'll get to that. All right, let's just talk about the DWF. There's 2 things I want to talk about. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. DWF partnership, the goal in the bear market is survival, period. Well, that goes for you and me and any project that wants to participate in the growing adoption of blockchain technology in the future. While we don't know the exact runway the foundation had remaining prior to the partnership, we can certainly assume it was extended. Yeah, it definitely was extended. That had to be what it was about. But what deal are you making to do that? What deal with the devil are you making to extend that runway? I think that's that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. You really think Stacy and the team looked at the market and their operation and said, "Hey, we'll sell a boatload of algo and just accept that they sell 10% gain on each tranche while providing no real value to the Algorand ecosystem"? Well, isn't that what happened with A3C or AC3 or whatever it is? I mean, that turned out to be a terrible deal. Talks a little bit about Stacy too. He's mad about Stacy. He says hating on Stacy. Stacy is the founder. You want a CEO to help shape a vivid vision of how a group of individuals. Just want to make sure my video is still on. You want a CEO to help shape a vivid vision of how a group of individuals can go make an impact on the world, and then you want a CEO to work tirelessly to put the right people in place to achieve that mission. She is doing that. Everyone loves CTO John Allen Woods. Yes, fair enough. Guess who hired him? Yeah, your arch nemesis Stacy. Who got the former Nike WhatsApp marketing exec to join Algorand? You guessed it, your good friend Stacy. Well, actually, I don't know that many of us are that happy about that, because what the hell has she done? If I'm being honest, what has she done so far? I haven't seen any evidence of anything that she's done. I haven't really seen the only one that really seems to be doing any kind of marketing is John Woods, and that's mostly going on Twitter Spaces and shows like mine, which is cool. He went on BitBoy, which frankly is a bigger deal. I mean, let's be honest, he reached way more people going on BitBoy than he did going on my channel. But I'm super impressed that he went on my channel. I think that's awesome. I haven't heard from anybody else from the foundation that wanted to come on, except for I was talking about having a couple people, including Adri, talk about the XGov, but I want to react to this a little bit, because let me see what he says here. To be honest, I kind of go back and forth with the whole FUD thing, because what John Woods said, and I don't think I found that clip. He said that the Algorand mood right now is one of the worst, the gloomiest that he's ever seen. His entire time in crypto, that includes time at Cardano and Ethereum. He's never seen this kind of doom and gloom before, and it's really, really sad. So I can't blame him, man. He said, when other people look in and they start looking into the Algorand community, and this is what they see, it kind of makes them not want to. Video went out right at the wrong time too. Let's see if it comes back on. Hey, thanks, Pat. I appreciate it. There we go. Okay, we're back. So I guess we got to wrap up pretty soon. Maybe my battery's going dead, but I understand what John is saying. He's like, hey, this is one of the gloomiest situations that I've seen, and I've been at Ethereum, I've been at Cardano. Oh, come on. Video's back again. Okay, hold on a second. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna have to cut it off, guys. I had a couple more things to do, but that's it. Video's dead. I don't have any batteries. They're all charging. So thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry the video's gone, and I'll see you next time.